gosh, I saw a kid on a leash at the airport yesterday. Yeah.
No. How old?
4? 3?
On a leash. Welcome back to the Sisters Show. We are just going to talk about whatever comes to our mind. Athena was at the airport yesterday and she saw a child on a leash, and I just want to talk more about that.
All right. So
how do you feel when you see that?
I don't know. It was one of the first times I think I've ever seen it.
I've seen it more than like...
And at first, my first reaction was like, get your kid off the leash. But my second reaction was like, I kind of get it.
Really?
Yeah. Like...
Why can't you just hold your kid's hand? Was there more than one?
I don't think so.
So you have one kid and you put him on a leash?
I think so.
All right, let's talk about dogs that are being strolled around in a stroller.
I don't know. I don't have a dog, so I feel like
you need to stop completely like negating who you are as a human because you don't have a child and you don't have a dog. You can have an opinion.
What do you mean? I'm not negating it. No, I just don't have a dog, so I don't know what normal behavior is with dogs. Like, I don't know what to do with a dog. Like, the first dog I had was the dog you gave me.
Okay, so from a health standpoint, because you're such a smart person, we as humans try to get 10,000 steps. Why are we pushing our dogs in a stroller?
I don't know.
Isn't walking healthy for them unless they have a disability?
Okay, what about kids in strollers?
They don't walk. That's when
People put kids in strollers when they can walk, I feel like.
That's because they can't keep up with you.
So what if the dog can't keep up?
Wow, we're really doing devil's advocate.
I don't know. I don't have either. You have both. But I feel like you make your kids and your dogs all walk.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a drill sergeant. Okay, here's my thought process. And I guess I can speak as someone that has authority because I have a child. I wasn't saying that you think like you don't
I just genuinely don't know.
I still think you have an opinion and it matters.
I really don't though about dogs and strollers. It's never like
you don't have an opinion about a person putting a leash on their human child in the airport.
It didn't like at first I did say my opinion. At first I was like I don't really like that. Then I saw it and I was like, "Oh, I guess it makes sense."
Cuz was the child like a ravishing animal?
No. They were like walking by, so I didn't really like.
I'm like acting like this was like a family member.
I know.
Like, did you find out like their eye color?
We were just in the Starbucks line, and they were walking like away from their flight, and it was like a slinky leash. It wasn't like a dog leash, like a rope. It was like a slinky. It
wasn't like BDM. Like there wasn't like it wasn't a furry with like ears and a litter box.
Like studs. No. It was just. I think it was. I'm trying to think what it was tied. I guess his hand, because I guess you wouldn't put it on their neck.
Like anything else, when I see children or teenagers that children are children, so they're going to misbehave, and you never want to be the person. I just told you this before we even started any episodes today. Never say never about your kids because God like humbles you so quick. But okay, so a few things come to mind because I have 4 kids and then I had 2 under 2 and then I had 3 under 4 is when you get over one child and you're just one person in the airport, it genuinely for safety concern reasons. Like I get that.
Yeah.
I've never leashed a child and I've never pushed my dog in a stroller.
Like imagine putting Luke on a leash.
He would take the leash and wrap it around something and like try to break it. It just never would work.
Yeah, I think that's so bizarre. I don't know.
Why can't you just hold your kid's hand? I'm just genuinely asking.
Maybe they break away a lot.
I mean, look, it comes down to safety and we just want your child to be safe.
Yeah.
I do find it strange when like people push their dog in a stroller and then a kid is on a leash. I just feel like the roles are reversing. I don't know. It's just me. It's my dumb opinion and I'm just a stranger on the internet.
I don't think your opinion's dumb.
No, I've never put a dog in a stroller. I have put a dog in like a cute bag and I've dressed a dog before.
Mm-hmm. I think that's cute.
Yeah. I don't think it's cute when people dress big dogs.
I just don't think I like big dogs, to be honest with you.
I don't like big dogs either.
They kind of, I don't know. To me, like when I think of a dog, I just want like a cute, scrumptious little like muffin.
But I get why people get like protective dogs. Like if you were like, yeah, I get that.
I get that. I just don't know if that's my vibe.
It's not my vibe. So is Joey a German Shepherd Like, what, you know, that whole like...
Yeah. So I don't know, because
since we're talking about humans, dogs, leashes, I might as well just like segue into this.
I don't know, because I honestly feel like I don't know anything about dogs. So I don't even know, like, I know the golden retriever boy, like I know that one, but I don't know the other types. So what are the types?
The German Shepherd is what Sean grew up with. So it's like protective,
okay,
dark,
okay,
moody. Can go like off the hinge. They're police dogs.
Okay.
But they're also like very disciplined, probably have OCD like our men.
Yeah. I guess that's what he would be then.
He's not a golden retriever.
No, I don't think so. I think golden retrievers are...
I've dated chihuahuas.
What does a chihuahua man look like? Like, what is he...
This isn't a real thing. I'm making it up as I go.
I know.
Should I tell you what I think he would look like?
Yeah.
He would be short.
Okay.
He would have a little pee-pee.
Okay.
And he would always be trying to overcompensate by being really loud. And he has like a big car and it's like... like it's like it has a muffler
really?
like that. Yeah, because chihuahuas are like these little shits. I think they're...
See, I wouldn't think a chihuahua and a big truck would go together.
No, because when I see a big truck with that loud exhaust, I immediately think you have a little pee-pee. But again, like I'm the dumb one over here that like, you know, gamers just don't do it for me. No, literally. Even Sean, though, when we see people with like I think it's more so the loud exhaust over the big truck. But like when, you know, those like super hooked up trucks, you usually only see them in the South. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Those people, the good old boy people. Mm-hmm. Chihuahua. Chihuahua.
Interesting. See, chihuahuas to me are such an annoying type of dog. So I feel like it's just like, to me, when I think of a chihuahua man, I would think of like a clingy man. Like a clingy, annoying, constantly needing affirmation man. And that's very just not my vibe.
Because chihuahuas are very jealous.
Are they?
Yeah.
No, I don't want that.
Like,
I definitely don't want a chihuahua man.
Chihuahua dogs, because I had them before, they like only like their owner.
I don't like
you
that.
know, like big bark, no bite. Like, I don't know.
No. I don't think I would have any desire or interest in getting a chihuahua. I just don't think they're honestly like cute even. Like, I just think they're an ugly dog, ugly personality, just ugly overall.
I had like 3 chihuahuas.
That's so wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Best breed to me is a poodle. Me and Sean are like, he was a German Shepherd guy and we just love the poodle personality, and they don't shed.
Do you think you ever would get a big dog?
Never say never.
Do you see yourself getting one?
Like, we always have these weird conversations, so we might as well do it on the podcast because this is the Sisters show. But I could see if something happened to Sean, mm-hmm. getting a big dog.
To like protect you.
To like have a man in my bed. Because I wouldn't need like an actual man in my bed, but like I could see like, so let's just say something happens to Sean and I move to Miami and I'm like a single mom. I like, it has such a negative like whatever in our family. It's like she's not worthless, but like I feel like, well, this is like a side note, but like if you're not married in the Greek culture, you're like
scum of the earth.
Not just scum of the earth. You can't do anything.
Well,
like,
it's probably because
she doesn't have a man, and we're like, okay, she's like an adult though.
As if it's better to be a woman in like a terrible relationship,
like
but
a toxic relationship, as long as there's a man body in the house.
You know what I think?
That does nothing, by the way. That person could do nothing.
Let's talk about some things in like Greek culture that we don't agree with or resonate with.
Go back to the conversation. I never will say never with the dog thing. I guess I do say. Do you say never?
Yeah. With certain things.
Okay. I guess we can do that.
But I feel like in general it's a good like thing to not be constantly saying that. Like I feel like with certain things, like I would never.
You said on the last episode you would never get breast implants.
I did. Like I don't know, like you know what I mean? Like I don't know what would ever like what why would I do that? What would make me do
I just want you to know, if you say never, I hold space for you saying I would.
Like in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I love you.
Love you.
And I think like I used to be like, I'm not a dog mom anymore, and now I am a dog mom. And so I feel like a lot of times, I'm not saying with breast implants, but as humans, as you grow, most of us with maturity and wisdom were like, oh wait, no, I would never let my kid have an iPad, and then like all your kids have an iPad, like those kind of things. I think it's actually funny when we like backtrack and like it's like comical.
Silly us from
silly
a
little
year
Jackie.
ago or 5 years ago.
Yeah, like my Karen Christian era, short-lived, but
it was part of who you were.
It was necessary to be who I am today on my spiritual path. But okay. So now segueing from kids on leashes, dogs and strollers, and then what a Chihuahua man would look like, we are now going to start talking to you guys about the stigmas and some just like Greek things, which I feel like Greece and Italy are so much alike. And even when I did like ancestry, like I had to like low key call our dad, and I'm like,
was I the mailman's kid?
Dad, like, why'd I come back and say I was like 80% Italian?
Yeah.
And it was because of the place.
Yeah.
Okay. So culturally speaking, I feel like women have no rights in a Greek household, like the true old-fashioned Greek people.
I think let's talk about that, because I feel like our family was, I wouldn't say they were like the most traditional. Like I feel like they were accepting of the fact that none of us are with Greek men.
But dad wasn't with a Greek woman. I'm half Greek, so that kind of like
but I'm saying like it was never like an issue, whereas I feel like a lot of people even still,
but that's
my
because
generation,
I think that's because also our Greek family left the Greek Orthodox Church, so like that's where that started.
That's true. So I feel like
first question a Greek asks you is, when is their name day, and are your kids baptized?
I think that there's, like you said, literally women have no rights. I feel like it's just normalized that you're, like they say it, like literally your only duty in life is to cook, clean, and have children for your husband. And I think it's
and have sex with your husband when he wants it.
Because why would
you live for any other reason?
Right.
You're not allowed to do anything else. Go watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding. You'll get what we're talking about.
You'll get the vibe. That's such a good movie, though. Like
I know. We're going to Greece.
No.
45 days. Now it's like 43.
That's actually so crazy.
What's something that just like irks you or gives you ick about the Greek culture, which we're very proud Greeks. Let's put that out there. Right?
Yeah. I would consider myself a very proud Greek.
But what is something that gives you ick that's like a traditional Greek thing, whether it be like in roles or
I feel like a lot of Greek people are very
superficial.
No, I was
Fake?
gonna say, like, I feel like a lot of them are like a little too you have to go to college oriented. Yeah, like I
really
like I feel like a lot of them are very like, we came here to like give you a better life, so like you're like, be a lawyer or a doctor or something.
I don't think that's a Greek thing. I think that's like a coming from another country,
an immigrant thing.
Yeah, I
guess that's true.
Not that I know, because I only came from one country, but like I do see that like a lot of, because it's true, they come here and they expect so much of their children, because we didn't come here for you to just be like an influencer.
But why?
I mean, influencers make more money than college educated people. We should know, but
right.
No,
but that's my point, is like they came here to give us a better life, and we're using the resources we have and creating a better life. Like when I see influencers or whatever, anyone in like the social media industry who like paid off their mom's house, or bought their mom this car, right. I'm like,
no, go on with your bad
know what
self.
I mean?
Yeah,
like that's what you came here for me to be able to like create a life and opportunity for myself and for my family. So I think it's really interesting that a lot of them will come over and be like, you have to choose between like these 3 careers, and then if you don't, you're like looked as down upon. But in reality, it's like those things don't even end up creating money for you until like 20 years later. So I don't know.
They give you like debt usually.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you have literally like 15 to 20 years
and you
of
hate your life, and then you retire.
What a like sad life. So what's one thing about Greek culture that you feel like traumatized you, or that you don't like or don't agree with, or you know? don't vibe with. I feel like the woman thing is a big one, and I feel like it's something we've like the comments always about
like
that.
If you're like, for me, okay, one of the things that really irks me still is because I'm not 100% Greek, and people like a lot of the off the boat people treat you like you're like half black, half white, or like, which is the most beautiful people in the world are half black, half white, but like they look at you like you're not
fully Greek.
Like, so, I'm like a Nephilim half bred.
Like, so did that happen to you when you went to Greece as a kid?
No.
Here?
Yeah. Like within our family.
Really?
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like the lightest, and like I always thought I was the cutest one because I wasn't like a hairy like Sasquatch because I was lighter. But
interesting. So family like from Greece that lives here.
I've been called a half-bred.
By who?
Like people that you know that I won't say on the podcast. And that wasn't like a complex I just like adopted on my own. It was like when we did like Greek Easter and like the lamb and like all of it. It was like they knew my mom was like a blue-eyed, blonde-haired American. I was like the first mutt in the family.
That's really interesting.
Oh, Dad, what were you thinking? Anyway, but yeah, no. So I don't like that. I think that obviously we changed that. Like I actually married a mutt. Like he doesn't even know what he is.
Wait, did Sean ever do Ancestry? Oh, he did?
Yeah, he's like Yugoslavian, Ukrainian, Russian. Surely you see it in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so... Does he have Italian in him?
Barely any. And they all think they're so fucking like Italian on his side. Yeah, no. They're like fucking Czech. Like, I don't even know the language, but like you need to go hang out with Putin. Yeah. Also, Greeks, like I was just around a bunch of them. They're so... like no one's ever good enough for their like, which you know what I'm talking about. But like if you say they're Greek, then they're good enough, and they could be a serial killer.
Yeah, I feel like Greeks have this like universal understanding that like if you're Greek, then you're just like part of the camaraderie. And
no,
like
I do like that though. Like you can I could walk outside and meet a Greek and like it'll be like, oh, Elenida, you say? I'm like, nah. They're like, oh, yeah, Jackie. So it's weird how like I've had actual real family make me feel like I'm a bastard, but then like people on the street, it's like you have 1% Greek in you. Oh my God. Like, wow.
Well, you have more than one.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I actually, which we've talked about this before, I had no idea. And like, if you're a scientist or know this shit, like just shout me out and tell.
Genes.
Yeah. When I didn't know you can be more of one parent.
Yeah. I didn't know that either until you told me, honestly.
How crazy is that?
It's
So if you do ancestry and let's just say like you look more like your mom or your dad's side, you actually are more of whatever they are.
Because I feel like
I thought it was just 50-50.
We always think too that like you and your siblings are all like the same.
You're not.
But you're not.
You are, but you're not. Like all of my kids were different. Huh?
Yeah. It's very... But then again, like have you ever seen those families where it's like black dad, white mom,
redhead child,
right? Or like two like most like white parents, but then like black grandfather, and then like the kid also comes out black. Like genetics like that is so crazy to me.
There's such a trip, really. Honestly, I agree. Having children, it's wild.
Yeah.
Because you whatever you want to happen, it won't. It'll be the opposite. So just try to like think opposite of what you want.
I need to think about what I want.
Yeah. Either way, they're gonna be perfect.
If my kid comes out ugly, I'm returning it.
No, you're not. Luke came out ugly, and he's perfect.
I know, but he's cute now. But like,
okay. So when I say that, Luke, when you were watching this one day,
why Luke's gonna be going to his therapist because his aunt and his mom.
Luke is honestly the cutest effing toddler. All the things. He had very masculine.
Yeah, he's a man.
Features.
Man
so when he came out, I was like, is he gonna walk? Like
I remember you sent me the photo of him when he first came out, and I remember I don't remember exactly what you said. But it was something along the lines of, like, I hope he swells down over the next few days or something like that. Like
I call a spade, and like my kid didn't come out looking like a doll. That's all.
But then now he's
You'll know your kid's ugly. I don't understand these people that are in denial.
I always have thought that was the most interesting thing. Like, no, people thinking their kids are like,
they know.
Friggin' Shirley Temple. And it's like, your kid looks like a literal
demon.
Fiend. Gremlin. Like, yes, gremlin is the best word. Like, it's a literal gremlin. Like, it is not a cute baby.
No.
But I think, like you said, it's because he had such masculine features. So
the second he fattened up, he was the most adorable child, baby, whatever.
And now he's literally a bean, and I don't want him to get older, and I want him to just stay. The best. And I don't like it.
Yeah. Could you ever be a swinger?
I don't think so.
I could never.
I haven't thought about it, but
we talked about strip clubs the other day. Like, are you okay with your man getting a lap dance? And
I wouldn't prefer it.
I'm not a jealous person, and if I saw like a hot girl grinding all over my man, and God forbid Sean got a boner, I would go on one of our shows. I think I would be the woman.
For the girl or for him?
Both of them
together.
Like, I would grab her by the hair and just go off, and then I would go after him. And it's not even her fault. She's a stripper. Like, the actual physical, like, what people, can we say whatever we want on this? Like, we're adults.
Yeah.
Are you sure? It's fine, right? It's our podcast. Like, you people out there that like have fetishes of like, okay, let's talk about the Diddy thing. Have you looked into that at all?
No.
So,
isn't he a pedophile?
Well, it's just interesting because I feel like everyone's coming out to be a freaking pedophile these days. Everyone.
Yeah.
So there's this song that like Bieber sang talking about being at Diddy's, like, because apparently, and I didn't know this, like Usher lived with Diddy for a while before he was 18. And then like he groomed also Justin Bieber, which we know there's a lot of like whatever. But the thing with Diddy, because I grew up with his rap, is... Did you see the video of him beating up?
I didn't see the video, but I think I remember hearing about it.
Okay. So going off of the Diddy thing, and I did look into it, and I watched like a documentary. I think it's on Max.
Okay.
Yeah, so go find it. There's only one episode. I hope there's more. But he liked watching people do things.
A cuckold.
It's a term.
Cuck. It's when husbands or wives like to watch their partners have sex with another person.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a name though.
It's a name. It's a thing. It's a thing. Like, people, like, there's people that like that. This is the first time you've heard this?
I've never heard the term cuck. Just like I've never heard giat. And anything that Joey texts his friends, I don't understand. Wait. So, abso-freaking-lutely no.
It's a thing. Yeah.
Is it popular?
I wouldn't say like it's popular. Like, I think if you interviewed like 100 couples, they wouldn't say it's like majority. But I'm sure there would definitely be a few people in there that would be like, yeah.
I can't even handle a stripper on my man.
Not the strippers.
No, seriously, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I get it, like, the sexy books, and, like, I understand, like, I know that there's, like, people that, like, you know, get a little freaky in the bedroom with their men, and, like, whatever, okay, fine. And, like, maybe they, like, watch things together, but not, like, in real time. Who made up this term cuck? Is it a acronym?
I don't think so, because I don't think it's an acronym. I think it's just like a word, like a term.
I've never heard of it in my life.
And what you just described, that's what it is. That's the term for it.
Can you Google it?
I can.
Just so I know it's really a word. Is it C-U-C-K? Like cock, but cuck? So weird.
Yeah.
Ew.
So,
sorry, Dad.
Do you think he's gonna be listening to this? Maybe.
Hopefully not. Hopefully he like ended when we started talking about Greek people. He's like, I'm not listening to these women.
So a cuck is a man who lets his wife or girlfriend have sex with other men.
And
often the man lets her do whatever she wants.
And specifically, he watches?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely not. Let's just segue into this then. I can't understand for the life of me, like, sister wives.
Like when one man has multiple wives and they're sisters. That's weird.
No, not sisters. They call each other sister wives.
Oh, that's what they call each other.
Right.
I don't like that. I think that's weird. I also just don't understand polygamy in general. Like, I've listened actually to like many like
shows.
What do you call it?
Podcasts.
Shows or like discussions about it. Like people that are polygamous. I actually find it very interesting because I think that when most people think of relationships, they think of one person and they think of loyalty and they think of
monogamy.
Right. And so the fact that there's actually like a lot of people that don't see it that way and actually feel like they do better in relationships when it's not with one person. Like I'm actually like kind of fascinated by it because I don't get it. And it's like a real thing. And when I think of it in marriage, it's even more confusing because I'm like, what? Like you each are on like a rotation? Mm-hmm. Or but like what? I mean,
but the thing with it is like, okay, so let's go to the Utah people that are like doing it. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, the fact that they hide behind scripture and like justify that, like talking about like King David and just like, I'm ignorant when it comes to like Mormon people. Mm-hmm. So don't hate on me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But like from the shows I've watched, mm-hmm. which I know obviously it's a show, like me and Sean will pause it and he'll be like, could you even imagine like me and you get in a fight and I'm like, I'm going over to
Brittany
Cassandra's house. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, mm-hmm. But here's what's sick. Mm-hmm. So the hierarchy of having the man, because you don't really see unless it's like in Colorado, I've seen this on TV. You don't really see a lot of women having multiple men, mm-hmm. but you see the men having the wives. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you're constantly bringing a new woman into the equation, or even if you have more than one, the mm-hmm. women low-key compete with each other.
Yeah.
So like they want to be the favorite wife. Mm-hmm. It's human nature. Mm-hmm. So Sean and I have talked about, since we're on like the sex talk and the cucking, is that like he probably always has like a freak in the bed because like they're constantly trying to outdo the other one.
Right.
I've actually read books about this too, where like there's more than one wife and she's always trying to one up the other one. Super unhealthy. Like,
yeah. Well, there's like sex therapists too that actually like they do like marriage counseling or like marriage
Are you
therapy.
going to tell me they recommend having sex with someone else?
Right, to like help their sex life to improve. So like if there's a couple,
she is on a show. How do you know this?
I don't know. I feel like I like social topics like this. I really like dive into.
Really?
Yeah. Like I love like listening to debates between like opposite groups and stuff. Yeah. But there's they have therapy like that where you can actually go in as a couple and the therapist will literally be like, I think that if you like literally let your husband like get with another woman, like it would take the pressure, but like, listen, I'm explaining it. Like it would take the pressure off of you as a wife to like serve him.
I suddenly have so many questions about my future brother-in-law and use marriage. No, I'm kidding.
No, but I'm explaining what it is. So that's what it is. And a lot of people like do it. It's like a thing. Like there's actual.
Do you know someone in real life that did this?
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
Isn't that dangerous to get into that territory though?
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's not my choice of therapy personally. I have other therapies to work through, other traumas to work through.
Interesting.
But it's like a real thing and like people do this.
But isn't that just like cheating on your spouse?
Is it cheating if the person allows it?
Yes. It's always going to end bad, bro. Like you can't, like we're humans. Like,
mm-hmm. But I'm just explaining like what it is and that it's like a real thing.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And terrifying.
It's kind of terrifying.
So let's just do a scenario. So Joey goes out to like the hottest strip club in Miami.
Okay. With who?
Friends from work.
Okay.
I don't even think he would ever get to that.
Right.
Would he ask you?
I just don't think it's like a place he would like want. Like we don't really go clubbing like that without each other. So I don't know. Like I haven't like thought of it like that because I
know you don't like bachelor parties. We talked about that.
I like bachelor parties, but I don't like
last hurrahs and things.
I think that's weird.
Got it.
Because to me, it's like if you've been with someone in a relationship, like you're already taken. You're not single and then you're taken when you get married. That's because
people think that once you get the ring and like are legally married, like you could be cheating on your girlfriend and it's fine. I think they're cucking.
They're cucking, cooking,
cocking, and crucking, and no. I didn't know you like watch these social issues on TikTok and you're like so like well versed.
Yeah. I watch debates like all the time.
Send me them. I'm intrigued.
Okay.
On TikTok?
YouTube, TikTok. Mostly actually like YouTube. But yeah.
Wow.
I love like learning about like different things like this. It's so fascinating to me.
No, I can see that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's for you, but you're just studying it and it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a real thing. And there's...
Do you understand what I'm saying though about sister wives or being in polygamy, that like
competing,
they're always trying to one up the other one?
Yeah. Well, even think about even on like The Bachelor, like The Bachelor, I mean more The Bachelor because it's all women and they're just more competitive and like, I don't want to say jealous, but they're more in competition with each other. Like the house is drama because it's all... And that's not even with sex involved. So I can't even imagine with like an actual marriage having like multiple people that he's yours, but he's also
and then
like
he has to be other father to like other children.
It's too many factors.
No,
too many factors.
Back to the strip club with Joey.
Yeah.
So let's make it a scenario that might actually could happen, but I just don't even see it happening.
Okay.
You go to the hottest strip club in Miami because it's not like Murder Beach.
I do, like with him?
With him.
Okay.
As a couple.
Okay.
And you look in the club and there's this banging ass peach model giving him a lap dance.
I just don't like...
I know you're laughing because that's what you do when you're uncomfortable. So you'd start laughing.
I think I would start laughing actually, yeah. I don't know. Like, I honestly haven't really thought about it because I don't like. It's not a situation that I think.
I'm just being hypothetical. Like I could role play this. Me and Sean have never been in it, and I could tell you exactly how it would go.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I really haven't thought about it. And the thing is with me, like I'm a very like let them person. Like I feel like when it comes to like loyalty and that type of thing, like I have no tolerance for it. So like I don't even know how much energy I would even be willing to
expend on that situation.
Right. Like if I saw something happening in front of my face,
I guess I'm just trying to see how jealous you are in that kind of
I'm really
thing.
not a jealous person, but I don't know if I like saw it in front of my face what I would do.
No, I get it. I'm not jealous at all either. Yeah. Like I know where I stand.
Yeah. Like I've just like those girls.
But I would want to pull a bitch off of him.
Yeah.
Because I have a standard. And I'm like these guys that go to strip clubs with their fathers.
That's so weird to me.
Like, could you picture Sean sitting there next to Yanni getting lap dances? Like,
oh my gosh, is that a real thing people do with their dads?
It's 100%
experience.
Yeah, like a rite of passage.
So, how do you feel about like a Magic Mike moment for women?
I hate, and we were just talking about this. I hate how how they portray women to be these like horn dogs, like we're in heat all the time. Like women over 40, like the way the media and like women behave on these like dating shows are like, it's embarrassing as a woman to see it. I'm not saying like we talked about like after you're done raising babies, like we're sexual beings and like women probably get like we talked about a second wind and I like my sex life with my husband has never been better, but like they make women just look like I don't even know, like hornballs. And I just as a woman I'm just like, and I get it, some people are like that and I don't know, I'm a very loyal person.
Me too.
And I'm a very like standard person.
Yeah.
And when someone's my person, friend, family, like that loyalty goes like, so the second you break my trust or my loyalty, like I have a hard time coming back from that. And I guess because I expect others, like especially in my relationship, like to be reciprocated. We were talking about last night, which I guess this is going to be a dad, don't listen to this episode, but like how when you get older in marriage too, like growing up with Sean, the sex has gotten better, you're more comfortable, but then like in other situations, people allow that comfortability to like be their demise.
Yeah, to like actually ruin it instead of it being, well, I think comfort in relationships can be either the best thing and actually necessary, or actually like super toxic and like you said, the demise of it.
So when you say let them, I'm a let them chick too. Like let Sean cheat on me. Like that's you can't control that. Like I'm not, but like I'm also human in regards to like I just don't find it like cool or attractive or like in my standard of man in my life. For me, I'm married. I'm not married to you listening. Is like I just don't see what the point of these strip clubs are. I know people that go to strip clubs with their spouse.
Yeah.
And that's like their pastime.
Yeah.
That's fine for you guys. And I hope you guys have a great, that's just not for me.
Yeah. I don't think I'm really much of a strip club girl. Honestly, I told you yesterday, like I'm just like a dance, have fun girl.
No,
like,
and I also low key am like, then because I am a woman, like I'm just like, I want to teach, get her off the pole and talk to her about like digital products.
Yeah.
And how to make money. Like
I don't think a strip club is a place for people in relationships, honestly. And the reason why I have such like difficulty answering is because like, what would you do is because I really genuinely can't even imagine being in that situation, because I just don't think that's the place that if you're in a relationship, like you really should even be at. And it's not a trust thing. It's just like,
I'm just like, what is the point? Oh, a good time with my friends, or like maybe you guys like that, like in you're a couple and it's like a good time and you guys drink and just like, yeah, and there's like a girl dancing, whatever. But I don't fuck around with that. Like I just don't. Like Sean, if you want a lap dance, like I'll give you a lap dance kind of thing. Like I'm not, and it's not. But me saying I would rip someone off Sean is not because I'm insecure. It's not like it's like more like, where's the fucking respect?
Right.
Like that doesn't do anything for anyone but me.
Right.
And I mean, anyway, you get what I'm saying?
Mine for you.
Mine. Like so mine.
I think when it comes to like these type of things, and
that's a human reaction on my part. And then for a male, having a woman on top of them like that it's a human reaction for them to have that kind of reaction that we're talking about. What I just said mine was. So like I don't even want to be in the situation.
Right. I think it's hard. Like actually me and Joey just did the trend. I don't know if you saw it on TikTok where it was like you and your boyfriend or whatever go back and forth giving example, like saying a scenario and then saying if it's cheating or not. And
that's a good, I gotta watch it.
But the girl just says no to everything, like to like see if he realized, like, you know what I mean? So like Sean would be like, is it cheating if I blah 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 blah, and then you're like no, and then he'd be like, what, you should do that with him. But it was funny because we were doing it and like I think neither of us came up with good scenarios, so it was honestly like,
I need to watch it now.
But it was just a trend because I think it's just so difficult when you are with someone that you guys don't have the same standards when it comes to those type of things. Like I can't imagine being with someone where we had completely different wavelengths of like what's acceptable or what's not. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, and different convictions and what it gets,
and I think it gets really tricky because people online get like, oh, well, this straight out blank out is cheating. And it's like, or this isn't cheating. Where it's like, well, to me, like that, it like, you know, you being on a date with another woman is cheating. But to someone else, it's like, oh, it could not be. Just whatever the example might be. And I think it's like really.
So we're just here. I mean, how do you feel about porn?
I don't think that I wouldn't know. I don't know if I would consider it cheating. I do think it's a problem in a relationship. Like to me, when I think of, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's right. And there's something in my eye. Hold on, my mascara. I think when it comes to like porn and relationships, I don't know that I would consider it cheating, But I do know a lot of people do consider it cheating. But I also don't think that it's okay. Like, I think it's a problem, and I don't think it should be like an acceptable part of a relationship, in my opinion, in general. But I don't know. I don't think it's like, to me, doesn't hold the same level as like you're making out with a girl, goodbye, get out of my life. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, to me, there has to be something else going on there that you are at that point.
I've read so many books too about porn and porn addiction, because like having sons, kind of like you with your social things that you're into, like studying, which is so funny, like our brains are the same in that. Like I've read them because I'm like, I need to prepare myself. I have boys, whatever. And you know, I think of what scripture says, where if you lust after like a woman, it's like you've already whatever. And you know that, like, I believe the word of God is inherently true. Obviously people can like take it and twist it and make it fit their lives, and we've seen both sides do that all the time. Yeah. And like a lot of hypocrisy and everything, like the pastors being like porn addicted pedophiles and all that kind of crap that goes down. So I'm not like saying it like hallelujah, like I'm just like telling you I know what the Bible says about this. But like I know Sean can like look at you in a bikini and not like, he didn't just cheat on me because he looked at your butt. Right. Also, you're like his baby, so like that's a bad example, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Like I think that porn is very dangerous and as addictive as opiates and alcohol. And
yeah, they categorize it with all of those things, like sex on what it does
sex
to your
addiction
brain.
Is real. Yeah. And when you are married, I think it happens more so in these like cookie cutter Christian scenarios where you're not allowed to have the conversation with your wife. Like you're not allowed to say like, can I stick my pinky in your booty hole? Like, this is really going everywhere, but like, you know what I'm talking about? Like this is a sister conversation. I think that it happens much more in these homes where, there's not healthy sex between the man and the woman, and there's not communication, and there's not that comfortability. As like, I'm telling you as a 36-year-old, I've never had more sex in my life or had more orgasms than right now with my husband. And that's because of my maturity, and like I know what I want, and like we've been together for 14 years married, and like whereas I can see other couples that these big rifts happen because like a man's slippery slope, or a woman like I'm not competing with that porn star, you know what I'm saying? And so that's where, as a woman that like satisfies her man, I definitely don't like it, and I'm not competing with that. And so also, like, I think we've talked about this with Joey. We're such like an open family over here, but like I remember him saying like he low-key like he has pity for men that like that's their pastime. Like you can't just go do that with your wife. And I really liked that, Joey. I really was like can you talk to my sons about that when they're of age? Because it really is like, I'm not here to like, people have addictions. Like people who know me in real life know that like I'm not a perfect person, and like my marriage is definitely not perfect, but what a interesting and edifying way for a young man who's in his early 20s, your man, to be like, no, like low key. Well, like
I think too, we live in a day and age where now everything has become so digitalized. Like dating is, which I don't, you know, when it comes to dating apps, I'm kind of like meh, but whatever. It's not what this is about. But I think dating itself has become so digital, and a lot of things on both men and women's sides that I just don't agree with when it comes to the dating world, of like the standards you set, but then like you're just using guys to go on dates. Like I know so many girls that do that, and I don't like that. But I think in general, the dating culture has become so on our phones, everything
like on demand.
And so I think that when it comes to sex, of course that's also going to become like that too, because now it's like, in order to go out with someone or do something, you actually have to like talk and start
have a conversation, look them in the eyes.
If you're a normal person, it's like, okay, no problem, but it's not like so easy for a lot of people.
I think so often ball and chain and marriage is so, in our culture and society, and I'm sure it'll only get worse, is like looked down upon as like a bad thing, whereas like the most successful people have a successful marriage, and the most successful people have a lot of sex with their wife. And like I don't know. I just feel like a fulfilled life.
How do you feel like, because obviously you have
Talk
children.
About a pinky and a butthole?
Yeah. Have children to raise and stuff. Like, how, I guess, do you also navigate raising them to, like, because my experience, I feel like sex was a very, like, taboo topic in, like, the church and religion. So it's like, how do you have that? I feel like we always talk about balance, but really, like, that's like what, like, I guess, how do you navigate understanding that it's like a healthy part of life, but also like not in that way, like not in like a fake way. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's such a tricky thing and I'm not asking for an answer, by the way. I'm just saying, like, how, this is a rhetorical question, like, how? Because it's like, I grew up in a super religious circle where it was never talked about, and the way it was talked about was so, in my opinion, wrong. But then also the opposite of that is, like, if you go on to, like, the normal college, like, whatever, it's like, also, I don't agree with, like, hookup culture either. But so then how do you find some sort of healthy relationship with it, I guess?
I think ultimately it's me making sure my sons respect women.
Yeah. And that really is, I guess, what it comes down to.
The sanctity of marriage, and that they want to have a marriage. I'm not saying, like, kids are gonna be like, oh, I want my parents' marriage, but, like, they respect us. We're not hypocrites, and we laugh, play, have fun, fight, fuck. And, like, they know that. Like, Sean
on the kitchen counter.
No, like, Sean pinches my butt and, like, talks about me in an edifying way to his sons. And my boys, like, I don't know why I keep comparing it to, like, videos I've seen, but, like, it means a lot to me. Like, I see a man and he's like, yeah, no. Someone's like, what's your biggest advice for, like, having kids with your wife and making sure, like, they respect marriage and your marriage and whatever? And he's like, when my son got lippy or my daughter got lippy with my wife, I don't say, like, don't talk to your mom like that. I say, don't talk to my wife like that. Just listen to what I just said. And at that moment, when your children see your man or hear you talk about your husband, like, that's because first we were married and that's my wife, and you don't disrespect her. And what that teaches your children is to do the same. Right. And our kids are watching how we live. They don't give a fuck about how you told them what to do in church, or, because they see, let me just tell you, Athina, they see everything. You saw everything in your house. I saw everything in my house when I was raised, and all day long, it wasn't the sermon in church, it was how they were living that had the most impact on me. And so I don't have the answer. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, my son will never have a teen pregnancy, or, like, he's going to be a virgin when he gets married. But I will tell you that he won't be banging out in my house if with me seeing it. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a guy, it's fine. Like, sure. Like, no, like, I'm going to raise them to, like, have respect for themselves and women. And so I don't think that I can, and I'm going to be like, you don't want to be the guy that's, like, addicted to porn and can't, like, have a conversation with an actual human being in real life. Like, when I say to the boys,
has erectile dysfunction.
No, like, when I say to them, it just leads to so many issues. And like, when I say to the boys, like, get off your device, and they're like, I need to finish up. Like, I'm a patient mom and I have gamer sons. And so, like, I'm like, okay, like, they might lose their progress in the game, but, like, let me ask you 2-3 times. I will turn the Wi-Fi off and I will have a full on conversation and lecture with them about how real life is more important. And so I just feel like, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't have children that are sexually active, and I don't have a daughter-in-law yet, but that's why we have this podcast, and we'll talk about it one day. Have interview Yanni on the podcast. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I
in, like, 10 years, we have Yanni go on as, like, the test subject of our conversations. Yeah.
No, seriously. And so I have an open mind, and I have very, very conservative, like, convictions, but I'm also never going to say never, because I know that that's, like, with that stuff. And so my sons know that there's nothing that they could ever do that would make me not love them. I say this all the time on this podcast, like, literally murder, whatever, like, I love you, ride or die. And so I think really the best, healthiest way that I'm learning in an imperfect world is to have communication with your kids and set the fucking example, because you can preach to them all day long, but they're seeing what's going on actually behind closed doors. And so to avoid the resentment, just live your life to the best of your ability. And that's all we can do as parents. It's all I can do as your big sister. Like the best lessons my children have learned so far, and I've been a mom for 14 years, is when I fuck up.
Yeah.
So like when I'm like, I fucked up and I'm really sorry, I literally say it just like that.
Well, yeah, and I wish that was normalized more, because as someone that did grow up in the opposite of that, and growing up in a place where I was just like preached about it, or just like told what I should or shouldn't do, and that was it, like goodbye, just you need to know this and that's it, that does not prepare a child to live
in the real world of
world of life.
Yeah.
And I wish that, and I hope for children's sake and teenagers' sake and adults' sake, that like that does become more normalized, to be open and talk about it, because that's how
a lot of times we just dismiss our kids. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I haven't been like, just shut your mouth, I'm your mom. I mean, yeah, of course, if I'm busy and like, but like on these really big things like sex or drugs or, strip clubs or what was it called? Cucking or cuck. Like if Yanni was like, Mom, I saw this, like what is cuck? Like I will shut the phone off. We will shut the doors, and I
will be getting a FaceTime. Athina, explain it to me. And then there it is.
No, literally, like have the conversations. Don't be too busy to have these really weird conversations. Rely, like I say this all the time, she keeps me relevant in regards to like, she'll keep me fresh knowing what's going on. If I don't know something, I have no shame to ask someone that does.
Yeah.
And always be someone that your kids can come to no matter what. Like, and it might not, like Sean is not the man. Sean would like snap on the boys, and they know that, but they know that there's someone that they can go to, and then I'll be like the bridge, what is it, the olive branch, right?
Yeah.
No, but it's there's no perfection, and I think like, I think a lot of things that will free us up as parents and human beings is like, Yanni doesn't look at you as his aunt and be like, she's perfect. And so when you're not perfect, he doesn't expect you to be perfect.
Right.
So it's like, the times that I'm like, Mommy, F that up, the boys are like, oh wow. So like, and even when I go hard, I'm tough on them.
Yeah.
I'm always just like, I don't expect you to be perfect. I don't expect you to do everything, like no one lives perfectly, but this is my standard and this is what I want you to live up to. So going back and circling back, and we've been everywhere, to like, how do I set the example for the boys or whatever, or not? What was the question you asked me? Like, it was like,
I was like, how do you find like a healthy relationship between my extreme that I lived through versus like the extreme that is society,
anything.
right?
Yeah. And I think it's just ultimately have the conversations, the weird, awkwardy conversations, and let your kids ask questions that are uncomfortable, and don't make them feel like they have like a hex on their head. It's literally so dark here. Because of it, what I'm saying? Like it's
allow the, like,
it's
the
normal
openness
for a young boy to like get a And so if they ask you about it, obviously women, we might not be able to, I don't know, go talk to daddy, but like let them not feel like, because I think in the homes where it's just like shunned and like you aren't a sexual being. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like I had a straight up say one time, which again, I'm not going to go into great detail, but to your teenage nephew, like, it's okay to look at a girl's boobs and like them. I don't want to. Okay, that sounds so bad. I didn't want my son to think something's wrong with him. Yeah. Because he finds a woman's curves attractive. That's what I mean. Like I'm all like, oh, go look at her rack. Like I don't want my boys to, because I think that happens so much in the Christian circles where they feel like they have a like something wrong with them that you have to beat out of them, or it's always sin. Like God made men sexual and women sexual, and I think that it's okay to talk about that in a healthy boundary way with your kids.
Yeah. And I've always told you this, and I like still to this day, the hyper tabooness of it, in my opinion, makes it even more.
You want to touch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I learned through.
Again, I'm using terrible examples, but it's like when you say, don't touch the plant. I said, you want to touch. You get it?
Yeah.
I'm just canceled this whole episode.
No, but I think it's really important.
Don't talk about it.
The more you don't talk about it, and the more you just pretend that
it's not happening.
Right. The more
you give your child a book on his wedding night. to learn how to.
All I'm thinking right now is about the Duggars and about the Ashley Madison scandal documentary. And about so all true. Of that. And that's like the example I have in my mind, because it's just like when you grow up in a house where you're just told no, 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 and
we're not saying yes, yes, yes either,
and you're never given any like reasons besides just like that's just what you should do. That's like, who is gonna live their life because that's just what,
and that's not how you want to raise your kids, is to just like obey without questioning.
Right.
No.
Well, cheers to having conversations.
This is our new thing.
I know.
I like it.
Cheers to having conversations with your children and with your sisters and with your family, because I think it's really important, and we shy away from a lot of topics, even.
But they're going to see them eventually. Like, my kids don't have phones. My kids won't have a phone until they, I guess this is my never say never. I'm not giving my teenager a phone until he's away from me. So because we homeschool and he's not driving yet, there's no reason for you to have a phone. When I leave him, I have a phone. I leave him with an iPad that he can, yeah, of course. But in saying that to you guys, eventually, if I kept him in a little bubble, he's going to figure it out. He's going to see it on TikTok. He's going to see something.
Right.
So why not just get ahead of it? I'd rather pay offensive than defense.
Yeah.
And I think that most parents are on the defense, and it's really fucking their kids up.
Yeah.
You know?
I do. I do know. I do know.
She's like, dear diary. No. So anyway, also too, like, your kids, like in our circumstance, I feel like you've had opportunities in the past to talk to me.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying?
I just feel like because of the unique experience I had and the unique space I was in growing up and going to school and going to church, I feel like I have a really good sense of like, I came out okay. So I have a really good sense of what things worked and what things didn't. So obviously you're going to do whatever you want, and this Jerry's going to do whatever Jerry wants with their kid. But if I can bring another like perspective or just like experience of like, oh, you know, that thing that I was told kind of made me actually think of this, and you're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Like, just whatever it may be, I think it's really cool that like you're able to have kids, and we can have conversations like about these things. And I think, again, like if you're a parent or you're someone that is like trying to create that balance with your kids, like we're just trying to have these open conversations and talk about it. Like, we had different experiences growing up, and I think it's really cool. And like I've always joked and said, like, your kids are really freaking blessed that they have people with different experiences and upbringings all like
up in their shit
in to like help raise them, like, you know what I mean? Because that's really what creates a well-rounded child. It's not someone that grows up in a bubble not knowing what weed is until they're 24 years old. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? It's like teaching your kids and saying, oh, Yanni, when I was this age, like I tried this and it actually sucks, and like I really don't recommend you to do this because you're gonna have this and this happen, and then you're gonna deal with this and this. Okay, mommy, I'm not really interested in that. Like, I have no desire for that.
Here's one for you. I'll close out with this. It's one of the saddest stories I ever heard in my life. This person's definitely not listening to this podcast, but I will not name them by name. This was years ago. This is when I had 2 under 2 kids. So like babies, 2 in diapers. I'm like 25 years old, super hungry for the gospel, and like just like soaking up like every older woman that read her Bible, what they had to say about parenting. And obviously there was red flags, and I've made, you know, things that like I wish I didn't do as far as like as you grow as a human being, as a Christian woman, whatever. But I was at this like woman's Bible study, and she starts crying during it, and she's like confiding in everyone at the Bible study, and she's like, the saddest thing happened. I just really need you guys to pray for me, which was really beautiful that she was aware of it, but it took this for it to happen. She has like a 9-year-old daughter, multiple kids, but this 9-year-old daughter came to her bawling and said, I cannot live up to the standard that you guys want for me. I can't not sin, and you never sin, and I can't do this. And this woman was like, the fact that my daughter thinks I don't sin, the fact that my daughter, the way I've raised her for the last 9 years, thinks that
I'm gonna say something really mean.
I live perfectly.
Like, you've low-key failed as a parent.
No,
like the one thing to do to your kid is to be real, and you couldn't even be that.
No, and she was distraught. And like I will never.
How old were you when this happened?
25, 24, 2 kids. And like I want you guys all listening to know that when I heard this story, God never allowed me to forget this story, and it has impacted the mom I have been for the last 14 years, where I know that a lot of times we don't want to, like, you want your kids to respect you. You want your kids to, like, obviously learn, and like there's no perfect way to do this, but I will tell you that my kids will never think mommy's perfect.
Yeah.
And I will always allow them to know I mess up, I sin, I curse, I fight with daddy, I get jealous. Like, that is so sad. That is the saddest lesson I could ever learn as a parent. And we like prayed with her, and I hope all these years later but like, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Every time I reprimand or discipline my children, I literally always start it with, I don't expect you to be perfect. I love you, and you're going to continue to mess up. Yanni lied to me the other day. I'm like, but like, I see such a humility character trait in my boys because of that. I don't know. Isn't that crazy though?
That is really crazy.
And parents all the time.
I hope that child's okay.
No, but like parents all the time are like afraid to just like let their hair down and let their kids know, like, I effed this up. Like, we have very open conversations about addiction, about Sean's past. Like, I'm not saying these are easy conversations for Sean to live through with his kids, especially he's come so far. He's a shell of who he used to be in the best way. He's like the best. But like you said, you have the conversation, the uncomfortable conversation, and with authority, Sean can say, I did this, and here's where it got me.
Right.
I did this, and I believe that's why God intertwines us all in community, and we need to have community. The girl with no friends saying this to you, but you know what I'm saying. Like, as far as like the girl with no, but you get what I'm saying. Like, and that's where you have to have that constant like growth mindset of like, my sister and Joey only benefit my parenting, and I will take advice from you guys even without kids, and I'm going to go to you and ask you questions about gaming, and like you like, use your resources. You're not alone. There is a village. You just need to like find it, literally.
I think that's like,
and stop trying to be a perfect parent, like, because that's bullshit. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
All right, well, from cucking to dog leashing your child to
strip club,
everything in between, this is gonna be a terrible drive for me. Sucks. It's
literally black.
It looks like it's 9 p.m.
I don't like it. I'm like in a depression.
All right, guys, we love you. We're ending it here. I need to get the hell out of Miami. This weather sucks right now.
We love you all so much.
Hope you enjoyed our episode. Don't forget to cut out the certain parts.
I will. Don't worry.
All right, we love you guys.
We love you all.
In the dark.
Bye.
And the thunder. Bye.